Welcome, everybody, to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by two people who are about as inconsistent as my campaign's tavern prices.
Oh, do you have set prices in tavern?
No, that's the point of the joke.
I get it. I'm slightly I just got back from the beach. I'm a little sun-fried, okay?
It's a good start to the show there, Atlas.
Great start.
It's a great one.
Good stuff.
All right. My name is Juan Santana.
I'm Atlas.
Atlas, how have you been?
Oh my gosh, good. Busy, stressed, but good. I got things going on. I might have a closing date. I don't want to jinx it. My lawyer is fighting with their lawyer because they're we want to push it.
Actual fighting.
I don't know yet. The emails are getting a little spicy.
Bit of fisticuffs.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. The emails get a little spicy. It's kind of like a fight going on there. I just had my final beach day with my homegirls here in state. I had a crazy weekend trying to plan game. It was one of those things where it's okay, we're going to plan this. It fell apart. Okay, we're going to plan this. But I just got back from the beach. I had a weekend. How was your weekend?
I had a really good weekend. I say really good. It was pretty much nonstop. I went into work on Saturday, just like an overtime shift. Ended up doing 11 plus hours. It's all right. But hey,
aren't you a manager?
Yeah, but
managers are supposed to step in though. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I can do with the money, and it is, someone's got to pay for the show somehow. But it just, I had things to do. It was one of those where I opened the can of worms and went, well, fuck. And I just kind of had to do it. I am being told that I am quite quiet, so I'm giving the microphone a bit of a...
Well, there you go. Your little bump.
I'm just giving the microphone a bit of a bump. Okay, tell me in the chat, is that any better? It well fucking should be. I know.
You sound much louder to me in a good way, so...
All right, cool. Yeah, I have actually turned up. All right, so we're getting told, it is better. All right. So, it was a really good weekend. It was, busy, kind of like you,
Yeah. This is the catch-up episode. We did all those amazing interviews. Now we've had this crazy, busy weekend, and it's kind of I feel like my Monday is my reset, because it's kind of okay.
No, I get that. I completely get that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about your weekend, because did you do any gaming?
I did. Yes, I ran this weekend. I GM'd for our table, Filter. We had a unexpected guest invited to our table, and we didn't know which game he was going to be able to make. So I was okay, I have this guy who's never played a game before, and he wants to play. I don't know if he's heard stories or if he saw on media, Stranger Things or something, but he wanted to play. He was invited. So I made up a game this weekend that was beginner friendly, but also tried not to bore my current players. Because that's one of those things where it's you gotta make it beginner friendly, but when I have a whole table of players where half of them are GMs, it's ooh. Okay.
No, I get that.
And I warned Connell, because he's there. I warned him. I was listen, I know you don't like these kinds of games, but I'm kind of going to do a dungeon crawl. Kind of. And he's okay. It won't be your typical dungeon crawl. There's no trapdoors or anything. But I'm trying to get this guy. And then he couldn't show up.
Yeah.
So I had this whole session that we ran. I ran his character as an NPC.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, it was good. It turned out better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
My players are amazing. They have been stepping into their characters more and more each session. They're really leaning into the level up system. It's really good. And there's some good story development. It was one of those oh shit moments. One of them was oh, okay. So it was a really good game. It was just solid. I was able to pull something off that I didn't think I could, and that I think there was some questionable doubt about, but it was good.
So how is level up? Because obviously now you've had enough time to sort of kick the tires, and
I love it.
All right.
There are other systems I want to play in GM, obviously, but I think that might actually be my home game system.
Okay.
The more I get into it, the more the system and the mechanics themselves are so beginner friendly, but the players themselves can kind of choose how hard they lean into it, because you can make it as simple as like, oh, I'm going to play this character that can do this A, B, and C. But it is really up to the player how complicated they want to make it, which I think is super important in a system. You know, it's again, it's a game. You should be able to get what you want out of the game. But I love it. It's wonderful. And the other thing too is they have a Patreon where they have a monthly Gazette, so they just will continue to add things. It's like, okay, oh, there's this really cool heritage and race that like you guys came up with, and you know, we made it official. Here you go. So you get the whole stats, you get all the description, like. So it's never just, oh, buy our $60 book and that's it until like 2 years later we come up with another edition. It's like, here's the foundation and we're just going to pump out more stuff for you every month. And I love it. It's great.
Good. I mean, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Obviously, because I got the Tales of the Valiant book, which is in the same vein as Level Up. You know, it's all 5e based. And to be honest, I've skimmed through it. I see 5e. I think I would definitely need to get somebody who knows 5e to take a look. This is when we need Justin, because I could lend him the book and just kind of go, get fucking angry. Just read this and get angry about it and tell me why. Because obviously I read it and I just see 5e. I don't see any different. The only thing I did see, which I'm pretty sure 5e doesn't have, is a luck point thing, which is like a meta currency. But that is about it. That's really everything else is just says 5e.
See, that's what I love about Level Up, is that it is V-based, and it has a familiarity of that. I caught literally just saying what I was about to say.
I was genuinely wondering if you were reading Connell's comment.
No, I just said a little more flexible on the rules and more options by default. Yeah, literally what I was just saying.
Is Connell the man behind the curtain?
No, he wishes. But the range, like I said, it is the option range of however 5e or not 5e you want to make it. I love it so much. It's so good. So good.
Good. I'm really glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. I did lots of gaming.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Gaming. Okay, so Wednesday we went back to Delta Green.
Okay.
The agents are now currently playing. They're playing a scenario I was building up. They are playing now the operation that made me want to play Delta Green in the first place.
That's cool.
But it is not an operation to just get new players in. It was, okay, so I'm going to build them up to this. I'm going to give them other operations, get them used to how to play the game and the mentality you need to have in order to play it, and then put them in this operation. And I am having so much fucking fun with it.
Are they having fun with
it? Couch apparently is not, because he's just said in chat that he hates me.
That is game related, right?
I know Chris and Lloyd are having fun. Couch, maybe not so much.
That's fair. Let's be completely fair. I get the dad look from Couch far too often, so it's debatable. Couch, I don't know.
So yeah, that's really, really good, and they are about two sessions in to this operation, and
that's great.
I've also, up until now, I've kind of been guiding a lot. There's been a lot of interjection from me, just kind of guiding me. Oh, why don't you check this out? Why don't you do this sort of thing? Just because if you're coming from a different system, if you're coming from, I mean, let's say 5e, or if you're coming from different systems or your more traditional role-playing systems, getting into Delta Green, it's a complete dynamic shift.
Listen, I looked at a Delta Green character sheet, and I was like, oh my god. I need someone to walk this through me, walk through me?
The thing is, there's a lot on there, but it is simple.
Yeah.
There's a lot on there. It is simple, and it's a simple, quick mechanic. Yeah. But getting players to kind of think in a different way, that definitely takes some sort of guidance.
I think that's to be said almost with any campaign. When you switch systems, even more so. So I totally get what you're saying, because I had a little bit of that this weekend too, where I only get to GM once a month. So trying to get people to snag onto a story and want to participate and get into it is so hard. But last night it was great, because every now and then I'm like, okay, maybe y'all should roll this, and like, oh yeah, and they roll. Last night they end up in a cavern and they're like, I want to roll this, I want to roll this, I want to check this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, absolutely. But switching systems, and it is very much so trying to go, wait, what do we roll? We just played Covenant Crucible, by the way. Finally.
Ooh,
yeah, I didn't get to talk about it.
We'll get there. Getting into that.
But
all right.
Same concept, right? It was kind of like I didn't know what I was supposed to be rolling or like the vibe of where I'm supposed to be thinking, you know? It was good though.
Yeah, you will find that, especially when you're changing genres.
Yeah.
Changing genres and you know, stepping away from the sort of ivory tower sort of systems and going into something which is like Delta Green. It's all skill based. You just everything you do is a skill. Having the players, just letting the players loose without necessary framework, because that's not how these operations are written. It doesn't. It would be hard to keep them engaged. Yeah. So this is the operation where I've kind of now let go and kind of
That's
gone.
awesome.
Now, what are you doing? All right, you wanna go grab a bite to eat? Okay, this is the canteen. This is called, you know, by the way, came up with an amazing name for a Chinese restaurant based in Arizona.
Okay.
Walking in the USA.
Stop it. I love that. So I got that one right away. That is good.
Yeah, but that's it. It's like, all right, want to go get some food? Let's go for Chinese. It's like, okay, so, and then you kind of play out that scene, but you kind of keep on bringing it back to. So, what are you thinking about while you're eating? What's the discussion? Are you talking about the investigation? What are your ideas? And you kind of feed off the players, and it is, you know, it is great. And this operation is fucking phenomenal. It's a work of art.
That's good.
And then after this, we're going into Impossible Landscapes. Oh. Which is the masterpiece. Yeah. I am so looking forward to it. So much so that I'm going to run it in 2 instances. I'm running one for my in-person table with Couch, with Chris, with Lloyd, and then we're getting the gang back together that played Call of Cthulhu.
Okay.
So we're kind of getting the gang back together with the addition of GM Mistress Winter.
Okay.
And we are going to play it online as well.
And that's a lot. That's exciting. I'll be looking at that.
It is, and that's one we're not going to bother recording it. It's just going to be we are going to play this game because we want. I
love that. That is my favorite thing ever. Is I just got to Bye Neptune. I don't know if he's still there, but Bye Neptune. No, his friend Neptune was spending the night last night. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been listening in the living room. That is what I absolutely love, is that when you find that game, that group of people, it's like, we just want to play. Like inmates. We were joking about that. Me and Stefan were like, you know, when this finishes for the crit list, we're probably going to keep playing. Like, we're just going to be like, I'll feed Connell extra nachos. I'll just be like, hey, it's nacho night. For us.
It kind of ties into my sort of philosophy for the recorded shows anyway. We're not recording a show. We're recording a game. Yeah, we're there to play a game. And we just happen to record it. But in this case, the Impossible Landscapes, it'll just be for our own entertainment, as it were.
Good. That's good.
Shit's going to get wild.
That's fantastic. That is good.
So that was Wednesday.
Man.
So then obviously Friday we got back to playing Pathfinder with Abomination Vaults. That we're getting close to the end now, so it is getting to the point where I just want to put a stop in it now, just because it's getting so close. I don't want to prolong it more than it needs to be.
Yeah.
That was fun. Almost killed him again.
Oh, almost killed them. It was fun. This is why we don't trust Liberator.
I had a great time.
I'm sure you did. So does Liberator.
Liberator's a good guy. Stop it.
No, he's not.
He is. He's a good guy. Anyway.
Listen, there's like 2 votes for Team Halo on the channel. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but
I'm going to... Right. One of them's yours. One of those votes is yours.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah.
I'm going to release merch. Team Halo. Yeah.
All right. You give me the design, and I'll do Team Liberty. Okay. Hey, we also need Team Crash.
We do need Team Crash.
We need Team Crash.
Then we're both going to lose because everyone's going to do Team...
Right. Okay. I'm going to put this out to all the players for inmates. Design your T-shirt.
Oh.
Design your brand. Do your logo. If like the actual design is a bit of a struggle, feel free to send me ideas.
Or me, because I'm a wonderful designer too.
You are a fantastic designer. But I didn't want to say send out. Listen, I didn't want to put work on you without asking you first.
It's true, because like the next 2 weeks are going to be interesting.
Person. Yeah, exactly.
You are. Liberator's not. I mean, you can't cheat your way out of that. Yeah, no, okay.
So yeah, let's do our own t-shirts. Let's put it up on the merch store and see what happens.
Okay, all right. I'm here for it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I shall get on that tonight. So yeah, then after that, moving on to Sunday, we did Kingmaker back to Pathfinder again. Nearly killed him.
Jesus, John! What the actual hell?
That was it. They did well. I will say they did well to survive. Okay. But that was basic. I was rolling like a fucking demon that day. It was one of those days where it was. I think I back-to-back natural 20.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember what game it was. I think it was Void Runner, our latest Void Runner game Connell was running. I don't see behind the curtain, but I'm pretty sure he almost killed all of us, because it was one of those things where as a player, I'm looking like, man, this is a hard combat, but as a GM, I'm looking at the combat going, I think this is going the way he thought it was going to go. So I think he almost killed us all, but I don't know. We'll see.
No, this one, it was just natural 20. Okay. Natural 20, like, yeah.
Jeez.
And it was the cryptic crits. That's what it was.
Yeah, man, that's what I use when I need to do a heavy hitter.
It was that one that did it.
Yeah, I keep my Cthulhu and my cryptic crits dice, my little dragon horde right here.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we rounded out Sunday evening.
Okay.
As it was, honestly, it kind of came about so quickly. It was like it got arranged in a day. Gem Mistress Winter was kind enough to run Daggerheart for myself, Chris, for Rosie. I will get their threads names in a second, and Peachy. And it was so much fucking fun.
Yeah, that sounded like fun. I wanted to try it. I don't have high hopes for Daggerheart, not because I'm against it. I just have no interest in it. The things I've seen have not piqued my interest. So I was really curious to see how that went, because I want to see how that plays out.
Oh, I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I've seen multiple people talk. I remember Shannon was talking about it when it first came out. Everybody's like, "Oh, I got the beta," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you signed up for it." Everybody on Threads was talking about it, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't see anything bad, but you haven't really sold me on it yet either." It's like, okay.
Yeah, so Rosie is Rosa Tears on Instagram and Threads, and then Peachy is, let me just find it, Peachy Draws Art on Instagram.
Love that.
And fuck me, it was funny. Oh, that's always good. It was so funny. That will be we're going to start releasing that in about a week and a bit after Call of Cthulhu. But yeah, just huge thank you to everyone who took part, because it was me kind of going, right, I need something. Right, I'll run Daggerheart. I approached Winter. Winter had already played it, so offered to GM. And
perfect.
It was thrown together in 24 hours, and it was so
I love it, though.
So fantastic.
That's great. That's good. I was supposed to run a funny episode last session. The surprise guest, and then the lack of surprise guest, and then the lack of a normal player threw me so hard. So I'll get my funny episode in. They've had too many heavy ones lately. Yeah, but they can't get out of the damn woods. I put enchanted, haunted woods, right? As a GM, you label it a million times. Don't go in there. No one comes out. They just waltz right in. And so we've been in there for 3-4 months, in real time, 3-4 months, because I only get to play once a month. I'm just there's so much more story. We got to get out of these woods. But no, we're still in the woods. There's a Taylor Swift song about that somewhere, I think.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to perform and earn millions.
Yeah.
Because basically that's what that person does. Anything they bring out earns millions. And to be honest, other people that bring stuff out that earns millions is the people at Critical Role. There's no Justin, but we can still do fucking segues.
I don't think...
That was a segue.
Roll with the segue.
Good segue. We need to teach you in the ways of the segue.
I've never been okay, here's what I love about Critical Role, okay? I love that it made gaming a little bit more accessible for people that I've never gamed. What is it like? I liked that it was one of those things where when I finally, after 20-something years, had a friend of a friend be willing to put a game together, they're like, hey, have you ever played a game, seen it played? And I'm like, no, I lived under a rock. And they were like, okay, watch this on YouTube to get an idea. It won't be like this, but get an idea. So like they did it in a good way where it kind of was like a way for me to experience it ahead of time to kind of know what to expect. But I never got into it. I tried so hard, and I was never a Critical Role person. What are they, critters?
Critters, I do believe, is the technical term.
Right. I have friends that are, and good for them. I get so excited for them, and they get excited about new sessions and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like, good for them. Good for them for coming out with this, and I hope it does well. But I'm just not. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of Critical Role. Never really have been. I've got nothing against it, but I do like to prod every now and again because that's just funny, If people take it so seriously, then it's on them. It's not on me.
Yeah, but that's like with anything. There is a healthy balance.
Yeah,
there's people on both sides that take it too far. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, a lot of my digs at Critical Role are done with a tongue heavily in cheek,
right?
So I mean, we've got to kind of face facts. Daggerheart could have been anything. All right, it could have been anything, and it would work from a financial point of view.
They have the backing they need.
They've got the backing. They can do anything. They can bring out any product they want, and it is probably going to make them money. Like, we've got to be honest about that. However, they have actually brought out a product which isn't half bad. And I was very much going into it going, I'm not going to enjoy this, I'm going to let that side of me that wants to be anti sort of establishment and all that, I'm going to let that get the better of me. And that's going to... Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that about me.
No clue.
I do not. No. So I was very concerned about having this sort of, I won't say unconscious bias, but I thought it would be a bias.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a perfect system. I don't call it a perfect system. I'm not in love with it. But then again, it's a playtest. It's not meant to be perfect. Right. It's not meant to be, this is the greatest thing ever in the world. It's meant to be, this might be shit. Try it. Tell us why and all this. And I've actually jotted down some thoughts. But I must say, once the session ended, I went, I fucking love that. But I think that was the high from the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens a lot. Yeah.
As opposed to like a genuine sort of reaction.
We were actually just talking about that from an art perspective because it is so easy. Like our table has been together with me in it for 4, almost 5 years. Before me, even longer. And it's so funny because like the excitement isn't there. When we talk about game, there's no in-between game talk. When I throw out art for people, it's kind of like, okay, cool, thanks. And when you play with new people in a new system, there's this hype of like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you're going, it's so unfair to compare like the reality of gaming versus the high that you get from new stuff. I have to keep myself in check with that, where it's kind of like, okay, nope, like reel it back in. Like,
no, yeah, I totally get it. And I think that was kind of when we finished recording yesterday. It was like, oh my God, that was amazing.
I'm going to go buy all the Daggerheart merch.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've got no money, so I wasn't able to do that. But so obviously today things have kind of settled, and I've got some things that I like and I don't like. Yeah. So obviously I have kind of jotted a few of them down because I'm a prepared boy.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah, it's like almost like a pro. But yeah, I mean, overall, the system is really good. Like it does everything you want it to do.
Now, all right, you brought this out.
Yeah.
What do you want it to do?
Okay, so I think the idea of Daggerheart is we don't want to do 5e anymore. We want a suitable replacement.
Okay.
This is that.
I get that, but what's the mechanic that makes it such a good game? You can't just say like, oh, it's not 5e, so it's good. Like, what's the mechanic?
We've got about an hour worth of fucking show.
You said it's not 5e.
The fuck down.
Hey, this is calm.
Right,
this is calm.
Okay, so it seems like they've tried to basically cater the system to what Critical Role do as a show.
Okay.
All right, so it is good blend. It's got a good blend of the crunch with the mechanic, as well as there is narrative aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not, you can't say it's overly narrative, you can't say it's like Powered by the Apocalypse, or even Candela Obscura, which is very much inspired by Blades in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
This is more, okay, let's get some like principles from 5e, or let's try and get the same sort of mechanical aspect from 5e, but let's add a narrative spin on it.
Okay.
So you start with your character sheet. You know, the character's got 6 stats, I do believe, and everything is rolled, like all the players, they roll 2d12.
Okay.
All right, 2d12 to resolve challenges or encounters or whatever.
That's like, I would say Covenant Crucible does that, but doesn't Mage do that too?
I'm not too sure about Mage. I know Covenant Crucible do,
okay.
But Covenant Crucible is a roll under.
Okay.
This is a roll over.
Okay.
And the 2 dice that you've got, they represent 2 principles.
Mm-hmm.
There is hope and fear.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you're asked to do something, you roll the 2d12, you add your relevant bonuses, and you either succeed or you fail. However, if you succeed with hope, which means that the hope die has a higher number, it is like an unmitigated success.
Okay.
If you succeed with fear, it is a success.
Oh, okay.
If you fail with hope, it is you fail, however. And if you fail with fear, it is you fail. So that is the core mechanic. So you will add your 2d12, you will add your relevant bonus, you will add your trait, and all that. And it is, you know, that is fairly straightforward, fairly simple. There are a lot of prompts built in with the character to kind of help roleplay and help kind of establish your character in the world, which I am going to mention things here which I know people are going to listen to this and going to go, oh, yeah, but so-and-so system does it as well.
Yeah.
Or they did. I don't give a shit. It's,
yeah.
I know other systems do it. I'm aware other systems do it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about other systems. We're talking about this.
Okay,
so I will mention things that are familiar. One of them is basically similar to the Fabula Ultima bonds.
Mm-hmm.
When you create your character, you have to create a connection to other characters in the party. But the connections are quite specific per character. So, like on the pre-gens, one of mine was, why do we tell each other everything? So you basically have to pick a character out of your party members who you have that relationship with. And it kind of establishes an immediate sort of narrative between characters. So, you know, it kind of cuts out all the, you meet in a tavern. And, you know, so it is quite interesting.
Yeah. I've never actually, I've had one game where it's you meet in a tavern. Like, I have to say, I think I've been very, very spoiled in my gaming experiences because the process of gaming has always been so creative and so original. Oh, you randomly meet this and you randomly, that's only happened once. And it was actually my very, very first gaming experience. I'm shocked. Looking back on my first gaming experience, I was like, I'm so happy I kept going. Looking back, I'm going, oh, man, that was so bad. I didn't know any better. But yeah. But it's good. It gives little prompts to kind of help the GM and the players.
Yeah, it does.
That's helpful if you can't have that like organically.
Yeah, it gives little prompts to do things. And as well, there are prompts that you get when you level up. You get these things called experiences, and they add +2 to a roll.
Yeah.
But they are very limited. So they've kind of made a middle ground between, if I narrate what's happening and I give that, I'll get a bonus. If you're using it in different things, if you try to use it in sort of different circumstances, the answer might be, yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So it is they've kind of part codified the sort of bonus aspect. Whereas coming from something like Pathfinder, where everything is detailed. So if you do this and it is a Sunday and there's an R in the month, you get a +2 to your attack. And like on the other side of that coin, you've got, okay, so if you are massively descriptive, the GM might give you a +2. So it kind of finds a decent balance between those two things.
Okay.
What else? I mean, don't get me wrong, like I say, I do have my personal issues.
I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I am very much so in the middle ground of like, I have not seen anything that makes me go like, wow, like I haven't seen that before. I really want to try that. But I also haven't seen anything that's going like, wow, that's shit. I don't want to play it. I'm very much so like, okay, it's another system.
There's nothing groundbreaking.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it which makes you go, holy fuck.
Where is this thing on my life? A lot of the critters that I saw were super bummed because they're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. I was like, no, sorry, kiddo.
It's another system. It does what it says on the tin. That
I want to play it. Don't get me wrong. I want to play it. And something Carl said earlier, I think applies to many situations. He says that I think Fabulous run by anyone other than Couch might not have been as good to him. Same.
Quite possibly.
Same.
Couch has found his system with
that's his system. Yeah, exactly. Just like Mutants and Masterminds for me, that's Connell's system. I'm sure I would enjoy a game with it run by someone else, but like for me, he runs that so well, narratively speaking. Like he tells a story that it's like I get into it, and like
I agreed.
Yeah, so I think that with like Daggerheart, if I found someone that's their system, you know, like it would be like okay, you have sold me on it. I
mean, I run like I could technically I could run Fabula. You know, I know enough of the rules and I could run it. I think Couch's knowledge of JRPGs
and the culture of that
culture of that, I think
when I told him, and he's like the mech book, I'm like, oh my god, and then he unloads all the stuff and going, oh, you know your shit.
Oh yeah, that was because I bought that for myself and went, if I give you this book, can I use this? He was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But yeah, so I think Couch's sort of knowledge of that sort of culture and that it just brings out an element that I would not be able to capture. I would not be able to bring that to the table.
And I'll be honest with you, I feel like I would not like Delta Green unless it's run by someone by you, like you. Because like I said, I've been I bought one of the Humble bundles, like I've been looking at it and I'm like, I love the idea of it, but I'm trying to think of like actually being in the game and I'm going, ooh. Now if you're running it, I'm saying, okay, that'd be fun. But that goes back to conversation.
I mean, to be honest, I do think Delta Green is probably the system that I run the best. It's the system I'm more comfortable with, and that is 100% knowing that I know Pathfinder like the back of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy Pathfinder. I run it. I'm not into it as much. When Delta Green is playing, I feel I get into it, and I get into the sort of vibe, and I want to create tension, and I want to toy with people because I think that's a huge element of it. You need a certain
you like messing with people? No. What? No.
But yeah, you definitely need that sort of that perverse sense of humor to kind of go, I'm going to get them with this. And I think that kind of really falls into my wheelhouse.
Definitely. And like that, I get that because I love Mutants and Masterminds. I could play in that all day long. If I had to GM it, I could do it. I could do it, but it wouldn't be the same. But like, you asked me like, hey, can you run a one-shot for level up for a group of strangers? Like the surprise guest. As much as I was uncomfortable and I didn't like the fact that I was kind of backed into a corner about it, I was fine with it. Like it wasn't like, oh gosh, I don't know how to do this. It was like, I got this. It's just, it's going to be a little frustrating and a little stressful, but I got this. So that's, I feel you. I feel you on that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about Connell as well. I mean, I know superheroes. I enjoy superheroes. I don't think I could run a superhero game.
That's the way he does it. Like, I couldn't either. Like, I don't know a lot. Yeah, like that. He just, it's so cinematic with him.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It's and then with Couch, I'm like, I feel like I'm playing a video game when I'm like playing with Couch. It's great.
Just catch his comment. So,
what the hell is that?
All right, so I've been adding a certain flavor into the Delta Green game, and that is when someone fails a sanity check, they have a vision, a very specific vision, and there's all a reason for this. I'm not going to go into what that reason is, but they begin to hear sort of like an old sort of record player playing traditional Charleston music.
Okay.
And they get a smell of like a very heavy sort of tobacco cigar smell. So that has been kind of a recurring theme. And the person who's suffered most with sanity is Couch's character. So
that's what I've heard.
So when Couch, I think it was a few sessions back, he went out for a cigarette and came back in. While he was out, I changed the background music to Charleston music. And nobody said anything. I just left it.
Oh, you're such a dick.
But yeah, I get into that. I really get into that. I enjoy that. But back to Daggerheart, who, speaking of GMs, GM Mistress Winter, holy shit, knocked out of the fucking park. Just
good. That's
absolutely
great.
GM the shit out of that game. But yeah, there are things that I'm not massively sold on. They have tried to reduce the math. But in doing so, they've created 4 different trackers that you need to be aware of.
Oh no!
So you've got
what direction you go.
So you've got your HP.
Yeah.
Right. Which I like how they do the HP. I'll talk about that in a second. Then they've got your armor. Then they've got hope, and then they've got stress. So there are 4 trackers that you need to be aware of, and I found that quite cumbersome.
Oh, I bet.
To kind of go, okay, so I need to add, because towards the end I was doing more and more elaborate turns on my go. So I would, okay, so I'm going to add a hope, and I'm going to deduct a hope, and I'll add a stress, and I'm going to do. So it did get a bit cumbersome, but hopefully they'll fix. Yeah. And another thing that Rosie brought up is that you get hope by succeeding, by rolling your hope die higher than your fear die.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Rosie was playing a martial tank character. So the only time she was really rolling was in combat. It's like, well, how do I accumulate this important resource?
That's me in Covenant Crucible.
So yeah, it was good. I think it has potential, and I think it genuinely has potential to do a dent in Wizards of the Coast.
Okay.
If everybody that's, because people flock to critical role. So all these new players that are coming in,
they do. I think that that combined with just the general outbreak of 5Es that have come out, I think it's going to take a small army. I don't think one system was going to be able to knock them out. But I think that
nothing will ever knock it off its perch. It's there to stay. But I think if anything does have a good chance, at least, of giving this a dent, it's Daggerheart, and I can't wait to see what they do. So I approve.
I don't know if we lost John or if we lost me. I don't know if anyone in the chat can hear us back. So he was actually just John. Okay. You guys can hear me?
Yes,
maybe. Yes, John's back. I have John back. Do you guys have John back? I think we're good. I have you. I think they have you. He's back. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I'm back.
You, Woo!
Yeah, that was
I was about to just go off on 5Es. I was like, all right, so we're gonna.
By all means. So what a day! What a day to actually say, you know what? I'm not gonna do an edited episode. It's gonna
right?
Yeah. Just after last week, we had that conversation. It's like, oh no, we'll just leave the stream up.
That's okay. You know what? That's what makes us what we are. We're authentic. We're real. You get what you get.
Yeah. You'll get an edited episode when the audio goes live.
Exactly.
In the podcast version.
Yeah. I do. So, we were talking about Daggerheart and it's going to take multiple things to actually dent them. But before we go further into that, the boys did bring up a good point, and I'm very curious because, you're talking about how not Code Green, Delta Green is your jam. Level Up is mine. Connell's of Supers, Couch does an amazing at JRPG. But do you think that you carry that genre into other games you play? Do you have the same feel and the vibe no matter what system you play?
I think there is an element.
Yeah.
I think there is an element. I think there are things that I carry over. I think those things are obviously more prevalent in Delta Green because of the thematics of the game. But I do believe
you have a genre or a flavor.
Not necessarily a flavor, it's more of a style.
Yeah. I hope you take showers. You shouldn't have a flavor.
I've got a musky flavor, thank you very much.
I want you to know the girls yesterday at the beach, like outside of they do not game, okay? They just listen to this podcast because they love us and they're wonderful people.
Hey girls.
We're at the beach and we were discussing, we were like, good wet or bad wet? Like all day. Like, oh, the sand's sticking to me. Yeah, it was a good wet or bad wet.
Yeah, but I mean, there is good wet and bad wet.
There is good wet and bad wet.
There is good wet and bad wet, you know. I think that is another that's a t-shirt.
It is.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
I know mine tend to be epic. Like, it does not matter what game, what campaign, what system I run. Like, I will try and make something super simple, funny, and chill, and it ends up being epic. Not necessarily epic and like, oh, it's this big game, but like epic in like story concept.
No,
which
for
is
me,
annoying.
For me, it's all about getting an emotional response.
Yes, absolutely.
So in the homebrew I ran, the Pathfinder homebrew, it was, especially towards the end, I would mix in the heroic, the epic, the driving moments, and I would couple them with the sense of insignificance in this world. You know, I think I did all right. I mean, I didn't get any complaints. I did get a wonderful message from one of the players after the campaign had finished and just went, just thank you for that sort of thing.
Oh, that's so good. As a GM, that's so rewarding. Like, hearing from your players they actually enjoyed your shit is like, oh, like.
So that carries over to Delta Green because fear is a very easy response to get. So I play up on that quite a bit.
That's good.
So I do think there is definite carryovers between genres.
Yeah. I think so too. And that's why I've kind of been curious because I think the same thing can be said of systems. Like if someone creates one system, there's usually that same vibe in another system they make or a different game they design. So I'm very and you guys said about Daggerheart, you know, it's like they took stuff that they do in Critical Role and implemented it.
Yeah, it does feel like that's what the objective was. It's like, okay, this is what we do. This is the product that we bring out into the world. People want to play that. So what is the easiest? Because 5e is not the easiest way to have a Critical Role type game.
I don't even know it counts as a Critical Role type game because to me, Critical Role is not a game. Like Critical Role is a TV show to me. Like I understand they are playing a game, but it's like.
When I say that, I'm referring to the performative aspect of it.
Yeah. That's like, I'm like, 5e is kind of like the perfect gateway game, but like when you're looking at Critical Role as a performance, like they needed something else because they're that's like another topic for another time. But they are not just playing a game.
No, I mean they're performing. Yeah. That's what they do.
Absolutely.
Couch put white waffle on t-shirt, wet t-shirt competition confirmed. I can do that. Couch, if you want to see me in wet t-shirt, I'm fine.
You know what we should do? So we need to take a t-shirt. And you know the t-shirts, like the big baggy beach t-shirts with the bikini on the front?
Yeah.
Design a t-shirt to look like a wet t-shirt. And then on the back put good wet. There we go.
Okay, you have Affinity Designer.
I do. And I've been using, let me tell you something real quick. This is slightly off topic, kind of still gaming. I used to make custom character sheets for fun. Like basic D&D, 5e, Ranger, Warlock, whatever. I'd make them pretty. I'd make them custom to people's things. And I was like, this is fun. It died. Like that, I got busy. Life went on. It died. Void Runner, Kickstarter, they got their book out early. They got their character sheets out late. Not late, but not as early as we wanted to play them. So I created a makeshift Void Runner sheet. And when they let their sheet out, I was shocked and appalled because I could have, like, literally it looks like they slapped their logo on my sheet. They didn't, obviously. My point is they didn't do anything to their old sheet. Like, it was easy for me to replicate. So I was like, I got angry. I was like, they're a professional publishing company. How dare they do something I can do? God. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna make better. Because then even their fancy sheets they come out with, I'm like, the designer in me is freaking out. And I'm like, I'm twitching slightly because this is like graphic design 101 in college. I'm going, no. So I'm making custom character sheets now.
Nice. All right. We're definitely.
I'll be releasing a lot of information in August, but
looking forward to it.
I'm going to actually look at a bunch of different systems, and it's going to be fun.
Ooh. You can make a show branded one. Yeah, that could work.
Ooh, yeah.
That could work. Halo. Digital downloads.
Yeah, just Team Halo.
Not many people will go for that, though.
I bet they will.
Yeah, not many people. So Connell's put, seriously, please show it off. I'm assuming he means the character sheets.
Yeah, not the wet t-shirt contest.
Not the wet t-shirt contest.
I don't even know how I would do that, but I do have.
Can you not share screen on here, on yours, on your end, or does it have to be? I don't know. No, I can, but again,
I might be able to share. I can share screen. Give me a hot second.
All right, you do that. So in the meantime, just to kind of wrap up, Daggerheart was fantastic. GM Mistress Winter, absolutely phenomenal GM. Check it out, and not this Thursday, the following Thursday. That's when it's going to air. And while you're looking that up, I am going to kind of say a quick how do you do to our partners this evening. Okay. You need to check out Deals of Opportunity. It is an automatic, simple, and free way to save on the tabletop role-playing games that you want. Just add your Drive-Thru RPG and Dungeon Masters Guild wish list and get notified anytime a title on your list goes on sale. You just set it up and save. Also, 13th Moon Games. It's a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA that created the tabletop role-playing game Coven and Crucible. It's a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Coven and Crucible would be it. Want to learn more or get interested? One of them are interested in joining the official Discord game. Check them out on Instagram and message them on there at 13th Moon Games. Lastly, check out our merch store where you can find t-shirts, hoodies, desk mats, and other items with either our logo on, our supernatural-inspired waffle-on design, also our Moves Like Atlas design. Yeah. Which I was trying to upload as a picture. I'll have to do it for next week.
It's awesome. I have a crew neck sweater like this and a t-shirt in my cart waiting for the move.
So if you want to support us more directly, you can head to our Ko-fi page and make a one-time donation or subscribe to our $3 a month tier, which will give you exclusive Discord access and a mention in our credits. And as always, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button and telling your friends about us.
Also, I have to say that, like, the Traveler's Chalice, that Discord where you get when you join so unhinged in a good way. we all hung out. It's so casual too. It's like, we're hanging out. You join us, and we all hopped on. We had some, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was something else. It was something else. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do this. I don't know if it'll let me.
All right, let's do this. Oh, holy shit!
Yep. So I'm making something pretty.
No, that is fucking pretty.
Granted, this is just the first page. This is just my first rough draft, but I love Void Runner. I'm not shitting on the company, but I saw theirs and I was like, no. We can do better than this. So yeah, thank you. So that will be available soon for literally anyone who wants to use it. But yeah, good stuff. Oh no, did we lose him again? I bet we lost him again. I can predict what he was going to ask. Are we going to sell it? I probably won't sell this one. Future, sheets probably. But, no. But that is where we're at. I feel like just the world is against John right now. Poor John. Can't get his internet to work. It was too good for his connection. Thank you. I appreciate that. But no, I love making the character sheets. Void Runner was my first comeback to it, so I'm not going to charge for it because it's pretty, but it is what it is. We didn't get to talk about it because we were talking about we lost him. Oh no. Okay, we didn't get to talk about it in depth earlier, but I'm pretty sure that we'd come back to it. The 13th Moon Games, our partner, I finally got to actually play in an episode of the Coven and Crucible game. And it was fantastic on multiple reasons because we actually had Sammy, our dear friend, who's never played a game before, jump in and play. And she was so good. She was a pro. Two of our players were going, wait, she's new? We couldn't tell. So that was wonderful. But we ended up finishing the game. And the reason that I'm like, okay, this is a good game is that we actually have a channel in our Discord for it. And they kept role-playing through text into the night. So poor Stefan, the GM, he's going to have a boatload of text to read up on before his next game. But yes, Yes, poor John. We lost John. I don't know what to do with myself. Just kidding. I can talk all day long. But that being said, let me see if I can show this to you guys real quick. Speaking of games, so on Threads, I don't know how many of you guys are on Threads, but every now and then me and John will post out like, hey, what are you guys doing in the tabletop role-playing community? And one of the ones that we got in return, and the reason I'm bringing this up is it has to do with witches. Coven the Crucible is modern day witches, like he said. Adrian the writer, okay? So go check them out on Instagram and Threads. Posted that they're working on a game called Starborn about witches in space. You guys know how I feel about space. Yeah, I'm a sucker for anything sci-fi. It's set on a menagerie station, which is a city-sized free-floating space station in deep space. Cough, cough. Babylon 5, cough, cough. Place of magic and piracy, full of various peoples and cultures, all working and living together, hidden from the strict gaze of the Inquisitors who hunt magic users in the name of public safety. Hi, John. We were just talking about Adrian's game, because I went and talked about our Coven Crucible game and then witches, and I just brought it full circle. But welcome back.
So I've had to do like emergency things there because my entire internet connection just went absolutely down.
Are you using the platform that Microsoft uses? What is that called?
I have no. What's that crowd? I don't know. But yeah, so I am now tethered from my cell phone. I'm going through my iPad. This is
okay. You know what? This is on brand for us, and I love it.
Yeah, this is on brand for us. The only problem is I can't see the YouTube chat.
Oh, I got it. Everyone said they missed you. They said the sheet was too good for the connection.
I think that was it. I think the sheet fucked the connection up.
Yeah, but honestly, your quality and your audio is still really good. So
yeah, I mean, like I say, it's as long as the cell connection kind of holds up, it should be all right. But yeah, just like the entire internet just went, you know what? Fuck you.
No. All right. Well, thank you, Couch. Couch says I did a really good segue. I feel like he's mocking me, but
you see, I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to watch this back now.
You're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to
watch this back.
I was just talking about the Adrian the writer's witches in space thing. I want to play it. I know it's still in alpha, but like that's another system where like just the basic description, I'm like, I want that. I want to play it. So
okay,
but in space, like your internet connection.
Yeah, my internet connection's nowhere.
Oh man, that's so weird. Like Colin's been having internet issues too. Actually, like we'll be in call and it'll just randomly drop out of nowhere, and he's hardwired in too, so it's not like
Me too. It's like there is an actual, there is a wired connection, so it happens. Unfortunately,
welcome
when
to
we do
Legit
things,
to Create, where we just run with it. We run with it. We tuck and roll. We wish for the best.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
absolutely.
There's not much else we can do.
No, but that's what we like it.
And the other problem is now I've got you on my iPad. I've got my fucking Trello notes.
Oh no! I can go through your Trello notes. You want me to go through your Trello notes?
Yeah, I mean, you can go through my. I think it was only Daggerheart I was talking about today. So
yeah, no. Let me grab Daggerheart real quick. I got you.
I think I genuinely covered everything for Daggerheart.
You did.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm looking through it. Look at you getting all your notes done. You are like pulled together. Okay, do you GM like that? Do you have notes for game or do you wing it?
I have notes.
You have notes?
I have notes, but I wing it. It's a weird thing. I don't. My notes are very much okay. Now think of something to do with this sort of thing. They're more like prompts as opposed to very specific notes. So I don't do. Okay, they're gonna go try to pick this lock and it's DC 17. In a case of just I improv most of my game, but my notes is information to have to hand.
Okay.
So
all right.
Which is like coincidentally, I was trying to start doing my GM prep for Impossible Landscapes, and I opened up Obsidian. I don't know where to start because the book is so well done and so accessible that there's no fucking point spending time into it. As long as I've read, as long as I've done, and from then it's just going to be the notes are going to be session based. It's like, okay, so I expect them to do this if they may do this.
I have such a varied, like, I use Microsoft OneNote as my book, my GM book. And my notes go from like in-depth character description of NPCs and different ways they can, like, different paths they can take, different cities they can visit, different monsters they can fight, all these little things, right? And then I have last night, okay? Now, mind you, I had a really, really fucking long weekend. I spent all morning at the beach. I was exhausted. I was tired. And I got a game with a stranger. And, like, I think it was an hour or two before game started that we got a message from him saying, oh, man, I'm on call. I probably won't make it. So I had all those notes in my head, right? And I had written them down. I ripped the paper out. I wrote down 4 things.
Okay.
All I wrote, and Connor's gonna laugh if he picks up on it. Oh, I wrote down one word which I can't say because that's a reveal for next session. Wet dwarves, okay, tree houses, and dragons. That's all I wrote down.
By the way, that's not the microphone that's leading to the iPad, but I just did that for effect. Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a hot mess, but it was a fun hot mess. And the players had fun. So that, honestly, like, that's really all that matters.
That's it. As long as the players have fun. Or in my case with Delta Green, as long as the players have a harrowing time.
Exactly. And yes, Desi, wet dwarves. Very, very bad wet dwarves. We're talking, like, did you ever watch Pirates of the Caribbean when they're cursed and it looks like they're, like, saturated and wet? That without the undead, right? So they're, like, bloated dwarves that are making sacrifices underground in a cavern towards a unknown entity. Yeah, wet dwarfs.
And while you're talking, I'm just going to go ahead and restart my router.
Yeah, absolutely. You might as well. It was like, what's the weather like out there?
Weather's glorious, eh?
Really?
Yeah, weather's absolutely
That's
fine.
Weird.
Yeah, not a problem.
It's weird.
I think it's just a random fucking thing. It just happened.
I'm so excited for my new house. My office/game room is like the middle bedroom upstairs. It's got these like 2 windows. It's just all light.
Okay.
So, like, I can finally see the outside. I'm in this glorious little hobbit hole right now, but it works.
Yeah, but it works. That's it. That's all you need. You need something functional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you? So okay, when you run Delta Green, actually, I shouldn't ask you questions. You're doing hardware stuff.
Well,
you do your hardware stuff.
Ask me questions.
When you run Delta Green, like I'm notorious. I actually don't think I've ever just like plucked a monster out of a book and I'm like, this is the monster. I take a monster.
Yeah.
The same stats, same. I don't like, oh, it's got this megabyte times 3, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that. But I will morph it into the storyline so that it aesthetically looks different, or it, like, the racial aspects are a little different. What do you do for Delta Green? Like, when you make them lose their shit, like, do you change the flavor of what's, like, fucking with their head according to the story, or is it the same no matter what?
No, it depends. A lot of it is because Delta Green is all Eldritch Horror. There's not that many descriptions of, especially like the some of the creatures they encountered a creature which is very, very famous in that sort of genre, and in that genre it isn't even described. So when I described it to the players, I was given sort of carte blanche as to what I would think this nightmarish creature would look like to a person. So I do kind of embellish, I'll say that.
Okay. Speaking of bellish, if you can hear the dog, that's Bella right now. She's not happy with her neighbor.
Good segue.
Yeah, right?
She's learning, right? People. She's learning.
I can be tough. I'm not an old dog yet. I'm still a young pup. But no, Bella hates our neighbors. Or I guess, really? Mary's neighbors. Oh, yeah, like they're not bad people. I will say the gentleman gives me a little bit of an ick vibe. But Mary watered his plants for him. I was on vacation. He came back. He's like, here, have some veggies. And dogs have different levels of barks, right? There's like, oh, someone's at the door. There's, I don't know about you. And then there's like the fuck off bark. Yeah. Bella's only done that to like 3 people. He's one of them. So I'm just like, yeah, for me, it's like he's like, oh, can I come in and give these veggies? Like, no. I'll let Mary, no, you came by. I'm not gonna.
Stranger danger.
Yeah. Yep.
I am trying to get my notes up here. It's not working. But anyway, so you were talking about the witches in space. Because obviously I missed part of that. Obviously, don't reiterate it. But is it like this?
I don't know because like it's still an alpha phase. Like I can't find anything on it other than like if you go to his Instagram, you can see he's working on like the pages on stuff, and he gives little peeks behind the scenes of it. I'm pretty sure on his itch.io Itch.io. That's what I'm calling it now. It's Itch.io. There's probably more, but I'm curious. I'm very curious because it seems very like on the one of the page it says, actually, here, see, I can do this. I'm a professional.
There we go.
So this is the one of the pages he posted on his Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And it's like got the grimoire, the urban, the tincture, charm, and augment. It looks very like magic friendly.
Okay.
But in space. I don't know if this is still it. It says the game project they're working for, but I would assume it is because it's got, the cautions, speed, mobility, machinery, technology. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good. I am slightly biased though. Like I stated earlier, I am a massive sci-fi junkie. So you throw space at me in any shape or form, I'm here for it. Like it could be the shittiest game, and I will try it if it's sci-fi.
No, but I mean, yeah, everybody loves a bit of sci-fi.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which is funny because people are like, "Oh, so you're like you grew up on this." I'm like, I grew up loving Lord of the Rings and fairies and high magic.
Yeah.
But when my mom was done, like, watching us for the day and she had to cook dinner and I didn't have school or homework or anything like that, she'd sit me in front of the TV and I'd watch Star Trek Next Generation. Like, that was, like, some people have memories of, like, oh, I watched, MASH on repeat, or I watched I Love Lucy.
I watched
Star Trek.
I never watched
MASH.
No, never did. And it's one of these...
Not bad.
It's one of these that people kind of go, if I, it's a staple, as it were. But I never watched it. Never did.
It's good. Like, I'm not going to say, like, oh, MASH is so good. No, it's funny. I don't know how people, like, watch it on rerun repetitively.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid. That's the funny part.
Fair.
Yeah, too much sex talk and whatnot. But I could watch The Matrix. Figure that one out.
Yeah. You can, like, existential philosophy, but
absolutely
you talk about penises.
No, yeah. No penis, just revolution.
No penis. We'll just talk about...
Desi, you should play. And actually, I'm sitting here going, she should play in one of Couch's games. Desi's whole family is big into, like, anime and video games and things like that. Yeah, so I'm like, Fabulous. Oh, shit, yeah, Fabulous would be perfect for her.
Yeah, 100%.
Desi. Cough, cough, Desi. I got 2 weeks, girly.
It is.
Man.
It is. There's like Atlas indeed.
Yeah. And then I'm out of here. And then I'm going to be like, I'm going to hit the gaming community hard. So hard. I'm so excited.
Oh, good. I really wish you all the best. And,
Thank you.
In a couple of weeks, we might be streaming from your new place, or a new place, or a different place.
Hell yeah, absolutely. With pink unicorns. I'm serious. I don't think I'm going to take that unicorn decal down. I'm going to leave it up. There's like a big unicorn decal on a pink wall. I'm going to leave it.
Keep it the fuck up there.
Right? Unicorns I'll paint a mural all around it, and it's just that unicorn is going to stay there.
Yeah. I think that's a grand idea.
Right?
But I think that's about all we've got time for tonight.
God, yeah.
Yeah, time's flown, especially, internet troubles. But yeah, thank you to, and my internet seems to have popped back now. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's kind of joined us in the chat. Thanks for your patience with us, despite the problems. I am going to keep to my word though. I'm not going to edit this show. This is this is what is going up on YouTube. Fuck it.
Yes,
right.
Fuck it all.
Yeah. I also want to say thank you to you for spending some time with me today. Do you want to just tell people whereabouts they can find you?
Absolutely. Threads, I'm super interactive. Instagram, TikTok, I am Atlas Ursa. Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear.
All right. As for me, you can find me at Natural One on Threads, first and foremost. I'm also on Mastodon. I'm on Blue Sky as well. I'm also behind all of our social media presences on Instagram, Facebook, and all that jazz. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do so at questions@toolegit2crit.uk. If you want to support us, you can do via our Ko-fi page, or you can buy some merch, or you can just tell your friends about us and subscribe to the channel. All these kind of things, keep the lights on. But most of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has spent time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.